Today, I am seeing a psychic. So I've always been on the fence with this stuff. I will never say 100% that it's fake, and I will never say 100% that it's real. So while here in Cairns, I caught up with a friend of mine, Alison. There she is behind. Hello, Alison. You know what? I have never let her read me, ever. Because I've always been on the fence and be like, nah, you know what? If it is real, I don't know if I want to tap into it. But I thought for this YouTube channel and for this video, why not? Let's explore. Let's have an open mind. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? A ghost is going to come in and kill me? I don't know. But we're going to find out. So first, I want to know, how did you get into this? How did you discover, you know what, I'm a psychic and this is real?
Well, I remember having visions and things when I was really young. So about 5 years old, 5 or 6 years old. And I used to be able to see things before they would happen. Lots of prophetic dreams about world events. Just knowing who's on the phone before they ring, that type of thing. And I was just really lucky that my mum was also a psychic medium. And so she understood what was happening to me. So she introduced me to things like tea leaf reading, tarot reading, things like very early in my life. So I've been doing this since I was like knee-high. Yeah.
Well, obviously there's a huge debate between real or fake. And to be honest, I've looked into it and like there's no real physical hard evidence that you can hold in your hand for either side.
It's the accuracy of the reader. So if you've got somebody who's spot on with so many things in your life and then, you know, as things are unfolding, they happen. And then no one can be 100% accurate because there's free will and people can change their minds. But if you've got someone that's absolutely on the money every time you go and see them, then you know that they are the real deal. Because, I mean, you can't fake that for years and years. I've got clients that I've had for 25 years.
Well, you know what, because I've thought about this, but what I believe is that you believe it. So whatever the truth is, you believe you have it. I don't believe that you're faking it or conning people. And I don't think psychics are like that. I think they genuinely believe it.
I think the people that really have the gift, absolutely. I do think there's con artists out there, like there is with every profession. You know, you're going to get your good and your bad. But in this profession, it's easy to con people because they're in a vulnerable state. And, you know, that's something that I'm very passionate about, is making sure that people, when they come to me, understand how I work. And if they're not happy, then that's fine. We part ways and, you know, they get their feedback. But I've never really had that happen.
Oh, good.
So, 40 years, never had it happen.
Wow, 40 years?
Yeah.
Well, you don't look a day over 41. So what about an argument that I've also thought about is intuition. I believe that human intuition is more powerful than we conceive, and that ingrained in us, for survival instincts, we intuitively can pick up on people as a survival mechanism. So in terms of how much of it is psychic and how much of it is just your natural intuition that's inbuilt in your brain?
The thing is, it's both is one and the same. So intuition and psychic ability go hand in hand. And yes, everyone is born with that survival instinct, definitely. And we call that clairsentience, which is your solar plexus, so your gut instinct. But psychics have an ability to be able to expand on those five senses. So we can see in different realms, hear in different realms, and not only feel what's coming up or feel something that maybe, you know, that we shouldn't be doing, we can also expand on that why. What's going on, what's happening. And so, yeah, every single person on the planet has got some level of ability. It just depends on how far you want to look into it, how far you want to take it.
Yeah, because I definitely think something happens in your brain. If there's something that happens that you can't put an answer to, you shut off to it.
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm always 100% honest with my experiences. And I lived in Cairns for 2 years, and absolutely so many things while I was living here happened that I couldn't explain.
You're a ghost magnet.
Yeah, I went because you did a clearing of my house.
Yeah.
Things happen that I couldn't explain. Again, I don't want to say 100% it was a ghost because there are so many arguments against it or whatever, but I had experiences, the hair on the back of my neck stood up, I sensed things and I went, something isn't right. And but it was in Cairns. Very few times it's happened throughout my life in other areas, not so much in Brisbane. Here in far north Queensland, if it's real, very active.
Very hot, big hot spot here. But you know, a lot of that stuff happens in places that have had a lot of tragedy. And so when there's been like, you know, murders or horrible rapes, things like that, it actually opens portals to other dimensions where these things can come from. And so Cairns has seen its fair share of tragedy with what happened to the Indigenous people here, which was absolutely terrible. And so part of our job here, and why we've got a healing centre here, is that we're actually healing the land and we're helping to rebuild the positive energy here in Cairns.
Well, I'm pumped. Finally, for the first time, I'm going to have an open mind. I'm going to let you do your thing.
Awesome.
What are we going to do?
Well, I'm just going to do exactly how I normally do, and I'm just going to do, you know, this is a reading, as you would come and see me professionally. This is what you're going to get. So we're going to do some numerology to start with. I'll be tuning into that and giving you a psychic reading, and we also do some cards to see what's coming up in your future.
Great!
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready. Talk to me, spirits.
Okay, so what I'm going to do to start with is just have a look at what energy you're moving through this year, and each birthday we go into sort of a new vibrational year. Around numerology, we can see people's personalities, what they came here for, what their lessons are, etc., etc. So it's a really good tool to use. So obviously, if you're in, you know, an ending cycle, you don't want to start anything new because it's not going to take off. You know, so it's a really good tool to use for, you know, future planning and just seeing where you're at with your emotional side of things. Because you're a 7, you're actually a really intuitive person anyway. And you follow your gut instinct on most things, even though you can be a little bit skeptical about things. I think that your own intuition is something you do actually listen to. Oh, you're a double 7. And do you know what? Double 7s can be very tricky.
Why?
Well, we say they can wear a mask. So you're a different person to people on the street than you are at home. And that can be, it's just like you like your secrets, you like to keep, you know, certain parts of your life to yourself, right? And you do like the odd mystery. So you like people who are more mysterious, you like people who are interesting. You know, you're not going to take people at face value. You want to dig in more and see more about what they are. This 6 is all about responsibility. So that's something you might run away from in this lifetime.
No one likes responsibilities.
Some of us have to, darling. You will actually have later this year a very interesting meeting with somebody. Now you're currently in a relationship?
Yes.
And what's the date of birth of your partner? That's going to test you, isn't it?
No, it is the 4th of February, 1990.
Okay.
Oh, I hope, or it's the 3rd, but it's the 4th.
She's an Aquarian. Lovely girl, very, very down to earth, puts up with you. BS. And I don't know if you guys were actually planning on taking a trip soon, but I've got this feeling of packing bags and going somewhere. So there's, you know, hopping on a plane, going away, right? Yeah?
I will say, that's impressive already.
Okay. This trip is a really important trip for you both to take because it's sort of like concreting in your, you know, your relationship and the things that you mean to each other. But I also feel she's looking to you here for support, or she's looking to you here for like stepping up. You know, so I don't see this as a negative. I think it's actually a really big positive for you, and I would hang on to her. She's a good girl. She's lovely, and she's really pretty. And you're quite close with your dad.
Yes, love Dad. He's a good guy.
He's funny. I feel like Mum's really intense, and Dad's kind of like the Joker that comes in and just like, you know, makes it all okay. All right. So the first card that comes out for you, and we're going to do these towards you so you can see them. This is the 5 of Swords, and what this is about, it's basically overcoming your challenges and arguments and things like that. So there has been a few conflicts within you about what you're doing and where you're headed and what's going on and what's the best path to take. This one is indicating that you're actually coming to the end of that, so there's going to be a very clear path that's going to be open to you. I can see you going somewhere and having a look because a job's going to be offered to you, right? And you're going to have a look around to see whether or not you want to do that, and whether or not you want to go to this place. But I just feel like saying that there's a big opportunity coming. There it is. And so with this, it's going to be more of it's not in a city, but it's not far out of the city. So it's not a big city. It would be like a big regional center type of thing, okay? So there's obviously some important things that are being shown to you here, but this is going to be, like, I know you're an ambassador for Tourette's, which is an amazing thing, but this is going to be more of a full-time, you know, role where you would be based from somewhere. You can still travel around and still do your stuff, but this is going to be a full-time role, but it's not a city like Brisbane. It's more of a satellite place, like Toowoomba or, you know, Gold Coast, or it's sort of like more satellite, okay? You're going to really love this. It's going to bring you in money.
Hey, the job.
The job.
Ooh.
The role will bring you in lots of dough. This is indicating that you and your partner are, you know, solid and that you're going to be travelling through this together. So she'll go with you. All right. Okay, so there's been a lot of, you know, juggling of things in this. There's a past card now. So where you've been sort of up in the air and you've been doing this and that and the other, and there's lots of things on the go, this is now sort of ending and you're coming into more of a time where things are more planned and precise and you know what you'll be doing from day to day. This is also about your relationship and what that brings in. That is really very, very positive. So that being in the past means that you're actually moving away from the separation sort of feelings of caution or not wanting to move into things too seriously. You're moving more into that very, very serious relationship stuff, which I like to see because I want to see you happy. Now, you have got here moving away from troubles and money troubles, so that's awesome. And you've got some money coming in here, which is going to be like either a grant or you're given money to do something, but it's actually very good, all right? Now, you have got a lot of thinking to do. This is your time for thinking, right? And it's a very big decision-making year. So my advice to you would be keep this girl. She's absolutely great for you and you need that. You have got the next 4 months of interesting ways to make money. So there's going to be money coming in from lots of different avenues. There will be a job offer that happens next year around about April, I reckon, that sees you going more into, I think, back into TV or back into that sort of area, right? So it could be radio, TV, or both, but it's more in the media type of thing. And you're definitely going to be getting a house. This is something that is almost gifted to you because the money will be there to do that. And it's a really nice white house and it's by the water. Don't worry too much about future paths. Everything will come into play for you. Have you got like a lot of brothers?
I have 2.
This is interesting. You must have a lot of male friends or people around you that are going to be like just lobbing on you. I can see a big group of males that you'll be working with. It's quite possible that you could actually be getting into more sweat lodges that you go to and you sort of become a man, you know, like you go through all of those sort of emotions and things come up, etc. There's something about that feeling with me and you and the future. So I feel like you're going to be leading things in this way. And it may be for these young fellas that, you know, have Tourette's like yourself, or just anybody that has any kind of what they see as a disability. But it's like, you know, you're leading the path or leading the pack in this. And it's providing young people with an outlet or a way to express themselves. The next sort of step for you, love, is a phone call or an email that's going to set you on the right path. I do think this is a job offer and I feel like this is coming really, really soon. It's because of stuff you've already done. So someone that's going to see who you are, see what you're doing, and they're going to come forward with this offer. It's not something that you will look for. Do you have questions that you'd like to ask?
Can you sense any someone who's passed over around me?
Okay, if they come through, they come through.
Sure.
I don't have any control over that. To start with, it may not be the person you want to talk to, but we'll just go with the start with. To start with, I do get a sense of an older gentleman here. I feel like he might have been overseas or he is not from here. I would go, I don't know, has your grandfather passed on your mother's side of the family?
No.
Who is the one that might have come from overseas, like Italy or Europe, around that area?
That grandfather.
It's that side of the family.
Mum's side, yes.
Then I'm sorry, I tell you, I think I've got a great grandfather here because I feel like and this guy is quite short, right? He's not a tall fella.
No, my grandfather's tall.
No, but the guy I'm seeing in the spirit world, he's short.
Yeah.
He's shorter. So he'd be about 5'10", this man, and he's got sort of white hair and it's pushed back like this. He's got a bit of a widow's peak at the front, right? But I feel he's associated with that side of the family.
Okay.
And he's around you as a guide.
From Italy?
I feel like he's from around that area, like Europe or
The only
overseas.
person I could think of would be my mother's grandfather.
Yeah, that's who I think it
grandfather? Yeah, grandfather.
Yeah, that's who I think it might be. So your great-grandfather. So this is, it doesn't matter how long they are over there or whatever, they still come through as guides for you. I'm actually getting a younger person now as well. getting a sense of a female. I don't feel this. She didn't pass very old at all, this lady. Did you have someone that passed through overdose or suicide or something like that, that was young? Like, I would put her 20s, maybe younger even.
Not very close to me, but I do know of someone that took her own life, but I met her once.
Well, she's she's around, or she's sort of stuck on you. Like we said, you do attract ghosts, right? So she's very sad, this girl, still. Does she have sort of like brown or light brown hair around her face like
From
this?
what I remember, it was dark hair and I think curly.
Right. She just strikes me as being someone that she's very needy, she's needing help. She's asking, I'll probably have to send her across. She's asking for help, right? But yeah, she's been stuck on you for a while. And your dad's mum, has she passed?
Yes.
Yeah, I've got a feeling of her now. She's coming in with big flowers. Got a lot of flowers with her. I don't know, she must have been a flower lady or loved her garden. She smells nice. I'm getting a sense of some male energy is coming in here. I don't know, this feels to me like it was a very sudden passing. Was there some that passed like really quickly, like in a car accident or some kind of accident, but I just got a bang gone feeling?
Yes.
I'm really getting a lot of pain through this side of my head now. So I feel like there's like a head injury or serious head injury involved. And I'm not sure if this is the person we're talking about, but I get the letter M, which feels to be like it's associated with them in some way. I feel like the letter M is someone here, like that they are connected to or trying to get through to.
The only thing I can think about with an M is my mother. Her cousin died at 18 in a car accident.
Now I can see an A, so it's M and something, an A, or there's an A in the name.
I don't know my mother's cousin's name,
Right.
but it is Italian,
Yeah.
so I dare say it's your
probably
Angelo, your Mario.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm in the middle of editing this video, and it is so important that I tell you, after I saw Alison, I called Mum, and I said, hey Mum, what was the name of your cousin who died in the car accident? His name was Antonio Migueli. M.A. That's pretty impressive. I didn't even know that. Mum then told me that he was quite tall and he was in a mini car, like a mini minor, and the car rolled over and he sustained a head injury from it. Alison was picking up on head injuries. All right, back to the video.
There's a few people here.
Why do you think I attract ghosts?
Well, you have a light that shines quite brightly on the other side, right? So you are actually quite a spiritual person. It's just that your logical mind wants to take that over, you know? And so when your light shines brightly, they come in because they're attracted to you. They think that you can help them. And so they'll follow you around until you do. Basically.
Guys, give me a break, all right? There were some moments there that there's no way you could have known, blew my mind, and picked up on little tiny things that I sat here like a robot, so you weren't able to pick up on whatever it was that I was.
As you normally do.
Yeah. But it was very eye-opening, and it was an interesting experience to experience this with an open mind.
Good.
So thank you so much.
It's a pleasure.
And if you like this video, leave a comment. I'd love to know if you believe in this stuff. What do you think? Head over to Alison's YouTube page. You can check it out yourself. Follow her. Leave a comment, like the video, and subscribe. Have a good day.